Although Omi is that army's formal commander, according to Yabashige, Yabashige is really in command of everything. Then, in order to let Ishido know that Yabashige is still on his side, he sends Zagarashi, that would be Hiro Kanagawa, in case you haven't guessed, to Osaka. You should look at his acting credits to see what a legend he is. Meeting Miraji, the most valuable samurai in Toranaga's collection, actual name Tonomoto Akanao, Toranaga informs him that Yabashige is looking for a spy. According to Toranaga, Miraji only has to toss a dummy in Yabashige's direction to trick him into thinking the spy he's been looking for has been apprehended. John rushes to Mariko, who is sitting alone in a remote part of the forest, rather than fulfilling Fuji's request to dispose of the rotting pheasant. John is informed by Mariko that they shouldn't be seen together anymore. If Mariko wants to get rid of Buntaro, John instructs her to do it. He is told a story by Mariko about the swords he is carrying. She claims that in order to maintain Fuji's feeling of honor for her father, her grandpa purchased the swords from an inebriated warrior, not because her father died a hero. Mariko makes a connection between this story of ignorance and the reality that she is refusing to give Buntaro what he truly desires, her hatred. John makes the point that Mariko is being wounded in the end and shouldn't be making herself go through this in order to exact revenge on Buntaro. That man is a moron, and he won't get Mariko's clever kind of discipline. And what good is it if he doesn't realize that he is being punished? Mariko warns John to stay away from her and will not stop doing what she is doing, even if it means being a little more overt in her disdain of Buntaro. When John gets home, he discovers that Yuijiru has been slain for having touched the pheasant. John said that it was illegal to eat pheasant. It seems that Yuijiru put his life in danger since the smell of the dead bird was unbearable, which was sufficient justification for his murder. It was Fuji who gave the order. She begs John to also murder her for this reason. All of this disgusts John, who urges Fuji and her crew to leave him before he makes a snap decision. Afterwards, Miraji's painting of Yuijiru as the spy appears to have persuaded Yabashige that Toranaga's spy has died. I'm not quite sure what this specific storyline is about. Is Yuijiru dead because he touched the pheasant, or did Miraji kill him to keep up the pretense that Toranaga's spy is dead and subsequently kill him for defying John's orders? In either case, I believe that John learns a valuable lesson about caution from Yuijiru's death, which occurs off-screen, incidentally, regardless of the cause. He has been demeaning the Japanese thus far for taking everything so literally. But as he watches a violent earthquake take so many lives at the end of Shogun Episode 5, he comes to the realization that life is incredibly short and shouldn't be squandered carelessly. He needs to make sure that his words and deeds have some substance. The story about Yuijiru's death fits in nicely with the themes of Mariko holding in her resentment of her husband to prevent Buntaro from experiencing catharsis and Fuji's grandpa lying to her about her father's sword in order to preserve her sense of self-respect. John had intended to go from Japan with his troops, but he chooses to stay when the earthquake strengthens his relationship with Toranaga. In order to give Toranaga a sense of respect, something that was lacking due to Fuji's grandfather's deception, he even lends him his swords, which Toranaga loses in the landslide. Speaking of Fuji, despite her injuries, she makes it through the earthquake. When she sees that John is no longer upset with him, she appears content. How much John is developing as a character is demonstrated by a brief image of him rearranging Yuijiru's rock garden. Subsequently, there is a really scary moment, yes, much scarier than a deadly earthquake, in which Lady Okiba sees her son and starts talking to Ishido. She expresses gratitude to Ishido for helping her escape Edo, but she also highlights how Toranaga subverted the council by denying it the ability to vote on any matter. Ishido makes an effort to persuade himself that he is making some headway in his efforts to remove Toranaga from the Council of Regents. He is informed by Lady Okiba that the council had an opportunity, but they wasted it. She will now make all of the decisions, while seeming to be protecting the heir apparent, and the council will report to her. Fumi Nikaido demonstrates her acting talent in this little sequence, and I'm excited to see what she has in store for the next episodes of Shogun.